Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm Cliff. This is Tech Endeavor. Today's video is all about Internet Explorer and how to develop on this browser. So if you are one of the unlucky or unfortunate ones who still has to develop for Internet Explorer, which I'm calling the wayward son of the browser world, or perhaps maybe you just want to deepen your knowledge of the browser and how to make sure that your code runs smoothly across all browsers, then this video is for you. Now, we live in a time where we have awesome tools like Babel, which is a transpiler, and what it does is it allows you to write modern code, and then it actually transpiles it down so it can be read by all browsers. So especially if you're trying to, make sure your code is compatible with older versions of IE, like this is a super awesome tool to help you. So if you have that option, then that is definitely the way to go. Unfortunately, with me and my current situation at my company, or in a specific area that we're working on, we're not able to use Babel in our build setup. And that's for some very complicated reasons, and I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but suffice it to say that we can't use it where we're at. So basically, I've had to learn how to make sure manually that my code is running across the browsers. So that's what this video is all about. So join me and I'll share with you what I've learned. So a quick note before I get started, this is mainly for the latest version of Internet Explorer, which at the time of recording this video is IE 11. But a lot of these concepts are going to hold true for the older versions as well. Just know that the older or the farther back that you go with Internet Explorer, the more pain you're going to have. Slowly, they started introducing more and more functionality as they went along. So obviously, the further back, the less functionality you're going to get out of the box. So first thing is Internet Explorer does not support a lot of the built-in JavaScript methods, and that's for arrays and strings and that kind of thing. The example I like to give is for each. So I was trying to build a JavaScript function using the for each method and found out that it didn't support it.
So a quick edit here is that IE does support the for each method on arrays, but not on a node list. So if you're using this method for DOM elements, then you'll have to convert your node list into an array first.
You'll get this error if you try to use a method that's not supported by the browser. So what you have to do is you have to actually use a polyfill. And what a polyfill does is essentially it just creates the method manually within your code. So you can find them online. Just search for the name of the name of the method that you're trying to use, and then polyfill, and you should get something. I mean, other people have written them before, so it's not hard to find them on the internet. But basically, just take that and you can copy it and paste it at the top of your file, or you can actually create another file or a folder full of files of different polyfills and then use them within your project. Just import them where you need them. So the second thing is the CSS Box Model works differently and actually a little bit unintuitively in Internet Explorer. It doesn't work the same. This is an excerpt from an article written by Roger Johansson, which I'll put a link to in the description below because I really think you should read the whole article. It will actually give you a lot of context and background. So we see here in the W3C CSS box model, a block level element's total width is calculated using the following formula. Total width equals margin left plus border left plus padding left plus width plus padding right plus border right plus margin right. The IE box model is similar except for one important difference. Paddings and borders are not included in the calculation. This means that if the element also has horizontal padding and or borders, the actual content area will shrink to make room for them. So even after hearing this, then you may still be confused, which is okay because I know I was, and to be honest, you might just have to tinker with it until you get it right. The trick is to make sure that as you're making changes for Internet Explorer, to make sure that your code still runs the way you expect it to and want it to on other browsers, because it would really suck to do all that work and to make it look good on Internet Explorer, and now it looks terrible on the rest of the browsers. A couple of tools that I like to use for this are Browser Sync and Browser Stack. Both of those kind of give you the ability to test your code across different browsers. And I believe they're both free, or at least they have free versions. And I'll link those down below as well. So the next thing is, and I'm terribly sorry guys, but no arrow functions. Arrow functions are not supported in Internet Explorer, so you have to use traditional functions. So just be aware of that. If you find that your code is not running, your functions are not working correctly, then you might have an arrow function in there that you need to convert to a traditional function. Okay, and then coming back to CSS, you're going to have to use those vendor prefixes when you write your styles because, well, Internet Explorer doesn't support a lot of them. So specifically for IE, it's -ms-. So just remember that. And there's some really good tools. In VS Code, I use a tool called Autoprefixer, which I can just run a command and this will actually add all those vendor prefixes for me. So not just for Internet Explorer, but for Mozilla, Opera, etc. So another trick when it comes to your style sheet is you can actually write IE specific styles, and you can use this media query here to make sure that it only runs in IE. And the way that it does this is a method called duck typing. And so if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it must be a duck. And so these declarations here, or these properties here, only exist on Internet Explorer. So if these exist, then run this code. That's kind of how this works. You can also use this method with your JavaScript. So by detecting the browser, you can run specific code for different browsers. And I'll show here, this is how you would do that with Internet Explorer. This document.document mode is, again, an Internet Explorer specific property. So you can say, okay, I want to run a special function here because this person is using Internet Explorer and I need to do something special for them. So hopefully you're in a position where you can actually use Babel and set up a transpiler, and this will totally eliminate a huge amount of headache for you. But if you're not, I really hope that these tips and tricks here help you out in your developer journey. And if they did, or if they made your life easier in some way, please let me know in the comments and give the video a like. If they don't make any sense to you or you think they're dumb, let me know in the comments. I'm Cliff, and thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video.